I'm Edie Lush and I'm here in the HubCulture Pavilion in Davos. Delighted to be joined by Tejpreet Chopra. Thanks very much for coming in. CEO and founder of Bharat Power. Tell me, we've got 400 million people in India without electricity, about the same number in Africa. What are your thoughts on how we're going to need a new generation of electrical? How are we going to move forward in terms of energy production?
That's right, Eddie. It is a fair point. Like I said, there are a lot of people, close to 1 billion people around the world who don't have access to energy. And I really believe if we can find a way to provide access to energy, it can dramatically improve the quality of life of these people. The question now is, how do we provide this power? There are a lot of theories going around, one of them being using distributed energy. On the other hand, what I'm trying to do at Bharat Light and Power is to actually provide renewable energy or clean energy to all these people. Because given the concentration on coal that's happened historically around the world, if we carry on this path, it's going to create huge social problems in terms of health for people around the world. So I think that's what we need to do. But the big challenge we really have to make this happen are two. One is availability of financing.
And how's that going?
It is very difficult because of the mismatch between what capital believes is the risk and what the real returns in this business is. So trying to match the capital available in the world with the returns of this industry is a challenge. So that's point number one. The second big challenge is around the whole issue of climate change. Governments around the world are getting less interested in the whole climate change debate.
What are they interested in instead?
I think what happened in 2008 with Lehman Brothers and the whole recession that followed, I think everybody got distracted. I think natural disasters in the recent past hopefully will bring the focus back into the fact that we really need to make a change in climate change. And therefore, we need regulatory support. I'll give you good examples. The CDM mechanism, it's completely died. And therefore, it's reducing the economic incentives for us to go out there and make more clean energy. So those are the kinds of ways that I think governments can play a critical role in really growing clean energy around the world.
So in terms of your own business in India, how are you affected by the financing issue?
Sure. The pace at which we would have liked to add capacity in India, we've had to slow it down given the fact that it's more challenging to raise capital today. The second challenge we have in India is the cost of debt. Given the fact that we're in a fast-growing economy, we've had high inflation, therefore we've had very high interest rates, and therefore trying to find attractive debt financing is a challenge. So the real challenge is the pace at which we would have liked to put capacity on the ground, we've had to dramatically slow it down.
I'm also really interested in the deal that you did with IBM at the end of 2013. And how does the combination of big data with your renewable energy, how does that work?
Eddie, what we're trying to do is something for the first time. It's never been done before. What we're doing is we're collecting live data on different parameters about every turbine that we have around the country. We're making this analysis happen, and we believe by doing advanced analysis and using predictive intelligence, cognitive intelligence, we believe we can get better efficiencies out of these power plants.
So if something goes wrong in a wind farm, what happens?
Exactly. It's sort of like tracking what's going to happen in your human body at any point in time. If you're tracking your heart or your blood pressure, etc. So that's exactly what we're doing is today we're tracking 5 parameters on every turbine. We're going to take it up to 75. If we know that a problem is going to happen on a turbine 100 hours from now, I would rather fix the problem now because if the gearbox fails or the generator fails, it means the turbine is going to be shut down for nearly a month or two. And that could be disastrous for us if it's in the high peak wind season. So if we can mitigate the downsides, yet at the same time, IBM has collected huge amounts of weather data and weather patterns around the world. If we can take that data, match it with what the turbine is doing, and we can actually change the parameters of the turbine, we believe we could dramatically change the way we get operating efficiencies from turbines and wind farms around the world.
Oh, it's absolutely fascinating chatting with you, TP. Thanks so much for stopping into the HubCulture Pavilion here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.